On a cold February afternoon in 1957, just outside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a college student wandered through a quiet stretch of Fox Chase. He had been checking his muskrat traps, moving cautiously along the winding dirt road, when something unusual caught his eye: a large cardboard box abandoned in the brush. At first, he ignored it. People discarded junk all the time. But curiosity gnawed at him. Inside the box lay a small blanket, rumpled and dirty. Nestled within it was the lifeless body of a young boy, no more than 6 years old. His hair had been crudely cut, his frail body battered with bruises. Someone had taken the time to wash him clean before laying him there. But no one had taken the time to claim him. The boy had no shoes, no identification, no name. Only a pair of faded eyes staring into nothingness. This would become one of America's most haunting unsolved mysteries: the story of the boy in the box. Reveal: the discovery shocked Philadelphia. Detectives descended on the scene, combing through the area for clues. The box itself was traced to a local department store, J.C. Penney, but like so many details in this case, the trail quickly went cold. The boy's body bore strange contradictions. His nails were neatly trimmed, yet his small frame carried the scars of neglect. His hands and legs showed signs of malnourishment. His head had been covered with small scars, as if from repeated beatings. His hair, unevenly chopped, suggested someone had cut it hurriedly after death, or perhaps to conceal his identity. Authorities took fingerprints, footprints, and photographs, hoping someone would come forward. Flyers with the boy's picture were stuffed into utility bills and hung in post offices. More than 400,000 posters were circulated across Pennsylvania. Surely someone would recognize him. Surely someone was missing a child. But days passed, weeks, then months, and still no one claimed him. It was as if the boy had been erased from existence before he was ever found. Investigation. The case drew massive public attention. Investigators considered every lead, no matter how small. They checked orphanages, foster homes, and hospitals. They compared missing children reports across state lines. One theory suggested the boy had been raised in a foster home not far from where his body was found. Police even visited the property, where they discovered a bassinet strikingly similar to one sold by the same J.C. Penney that distributed the box. But without concrete evidence, the lead fizzled. Another theory came years later, in the 1960s, when a local woman confessed to seeing her parents purchase a young boy and keep him hidden in their home. She claimed that after months of abuse, the boy was killed and his body discarded in the woods. But investigators found inconsistencies in her account, and no proof tied her story to the boy in the box. Forensic experts exhumed the boy's body in 1998, hoping modern science could provide answers. DNA was extracted, but without a match in any national database, the mystery only deepened. The boy's anonymity grew into a cruel metaphor. He wasn't just one child. He was every child lost to neglect, every voice silenced before it had a chance to be heard. Mystery. What made the case so unsettling wasn't just the crime itself, but the silence that followed. Why did no one report him missing? How could a boy so young, so vulnerable, vanish without a trace of concern? Was he abandoned by a family too ashamed to claim him? Or had he been born into circumstances so secretive, illegitimacy, trafficking, or hidden abuse, that acknowledging him in death would expose hidden sins? Each possibility painted a darker picture. Some investigators theorized that he had been sold or given away. A child passed between strangers until his short life ended violently. Others believed he might have been institutionalized, forgotten by a society that didn't want to look too closely at its broken systems. And then there was the possibility no one wanted to say aloud, that someone somewhere had loved this boy. But fear, shame, or guilt had stopped them from stepping forward. That silence was louder than any confession. Ending. For decades, the case remained unsolved. Detectives retired. Witnesses died. The boy's grave bore only a simple headstone. Heavenly Father, bless this unknown boy. But in 2022, after 65 years, investigators finally had a breakthrough. Advances in genetic genealogy, the same method that caught the Golden State Killer, allowed experts to trace the boy's DNA to living relatives. His name was Joseph Augustus Zarelli, born in 1953. Joseph's family history was troubled. His parents, unmarried and young, lived separate lives marked by instability. Records suggested neglect and hardship. His short, painful existence seemed destined to end in tragedy. Though police now knew Joseph's name, one question still lingered. Who killed him? Despite identifying his family, investigators could not confirm who was directly responsible for his death. His killer may already be gone, buried with their secrets. And yet, even with unanswered questions, the revelation mattered. After decades of being the boy in the box, Joseph was no longer nameless. He was a son, a brother, a child who once laughed and cried, who once had a chance at life. The tragedy of Joseph's death remains unsolved, but the tragedy of his anonymity has been lifted. His identity was reclaimed, his humanity restored. Reflection. The Boy in the Box story is more than just a true crime mystery. It is a reminder of the children who slip through the cracks, whose lives are cut short not only by violence but by silence. For nearly 70 years, Joseph's case haunted Philadelphia, chilling generations with its unanswered questions. Now we know his name. We know he lived. And that, in the end, is a small victory against the darkness that tried to erase him. Because no child deserves to be forgotten.